Fight number 6 is here for the Fight 'em Up series by Finnigan 40K. This one takes Grandmaster Voldus of the Grey Knights versus a Warboss in Mega Armor. Voldus is a Demon Hunter and Killer with very strong psychic abilities that help him fight demon keyword models. So against an Orc, he's going to be stronger than a usual Terminator. His hammer is very, very strong. But this Ork Warboss is absolutely devastating in hand-to-hand combat, as we've seen previously. Lots of wounds, lots of toughness. It also has a ranged attack that's pretty capable with the Gretchen on its back. So Gretchens have a better ballistic skill than Orcs. So it gives this model a 4+ ballistic skill. Grandmaster Voldus is a Grey Knight Terminator, though. So he is very good with ranged attacks. And then his melee is also going to be amazing. So this might turn out to be a really good battle. We're going to get moving here in just a sec, get the roll going. So as per our alphabetical rules, I'm not going to do Grandmaster. It's Voldus versus, a Warboss. So, you know what? We'll roll. We'll see. I'm going to give this to the Orc first for the roll. And it's going to be luck anyway. So we'll see who goes first. So Orc versus Voldus. And from there, we're going to see where they line up on the table. And I'll be right back to show you the outcome of that. Let's see who gets the initiative here with getting placed on the board, as well as who will be getting the first movement and possible shooting, mattering how far it is. So this is our Ork Warboss in Mega Armor rolling here. Got a 4. And this is Voldus, Grandmaster Voldus of the Grey Knights rolling here. 3. So it is going to be moving over to the Ork Warboss in Mega Armor. I don't think this is going to really matter. These models are very, very similar. They're slow, and it's going to take them a while to get into it, but should be good. Here we go. The models have been placed. As you can see, our Ork Warboss, who won the toss, is right over here. Doesn't really matter. They're so well armored that I don't think they're going to need to take any cover. We'll see how that goes. Always good to have a bit of cover available, so the Ork Warboss did do that. They're looking for a scrap, though, as per the Orky culture, and they're going to want to get into it right away. So the Ork Warboss does have the Big Shooter, which is handled by a Gretchen, and Voldus has a Storm Bolter. So the Storm Bolter has a max range of 24 inches. Just show you guys that with my measuring tape here. So for Voldus here, he's hitting just past half. The Ork Warboss might actually be within range to shoot. So about an inch away. So the Ork Warboss is actually going to have the advantage there, and that's a pretty far weapon compared to a lot of the character models we've seen. So even against, Azrael, who we just saw in the previous battle with that 24-inch, this one is pretty much right there. So we're going to get moving here. The Ork Warboss is going to hop right out, pop right about here. I'm going to put the dice down too for their wounds. So our Ork Warboss has 7 wounds, quite a few, and Voldus has 6. So the Orc also kind of takes that front as well in regards to wounds. And now we're going to get down on the table here and check in just a sec. But that Big Shooter is in range, and the Gretchen can see him. So it's got line of sight to Voldus. So we're going to actually be going to the dice roll camera right now, getting this one started off really quick. The Orc as well has the ability to call a wog or a wog, and that's going to do some enhancements. I want to use that if and when we get into hand-to-hand combat, so we'll get to that when that happens. So over to the dice camera now. We are rolling for the Ork Warboss and Mega Armor's first shoot. This is a Big Shooter, 36 inches. It also has the ability of Rapid Fire 2. So if this was 18 inches, half of 36, he would get an additional 2 attacks. But right now it is 3, hitting on a 4+. Not too bad. So 1 did fall off. And we have a Strength 5 weapon versus Toughness 5. So this is going to be 4s to wound. And he has wounded once. It is not twin-linked. So this has wounded. It is a 0 to AP though, so Voldus gets his regular 2+ save, which he just made. So he got the 2, so Voldus has taken no damage, and it's going over to him now for his move. Over to Voldus now for his movement. He's going to be coming into hails of fire here if he doesn't get some cover. And, you know, the Gretchen did get lucky there. It's a 4+, so the same kind of ballistic skill roll as an Imperial Guardsman. But as he's coming out here, like, I could get behind this next turn. I could have got behind this right off the bat, but he's moving so slow. He's got to get in there and kill that. That's the whole point of these battles. So it's going to be going back over to our Ork Warboss and Mega Armor to shoot again. Move him first, though, to kind of close that gap, because, you know, this is actually the Gretchen shooting. It's not the Ork Warboss, and the Ork Warboss is, you know, frothing at the mouth. He wants to get in there and just rip apart Voldus. So he's going to keep moving closer and closer. And now 18 inches for that rapid fire is coming in close. So I have to consider that for Voldus's turn too. It's just out of range of the rapid fire, but the big shooter is still going to get its regular 3 dice. So here we go. Ork Warboss, shoot 2 with the big shooter, fired by our Gretchen friend Grink, I'm going to call him for this battle. And it's a 4+ to hit. So once again, 1 fell off, 2 are through. It is strength 5 weapon versus toughness 5, 4s to wound. 1 through again. And let's see if Voldus can save this. No AP, so it's a 2+ regular save for Voldus. And he saved it. So he's actually going through quite a hail of fire here. I might just keep doing it, because with that AP 0 and that 2+ save, if I can get into that initiative to get him into hand-to-hand combat first, he might be able to land some blows and maybe really take out this Ork Warboss. So Voldus has moved in again, his 5 inches. The Warboss is going to say, you know what, I'm going to do the same. I want to scrap here big time against this Yumi Grey Knight. And now, however, we are in that 18 inches. I'm just going to check here. Pretty sure it is, but yeah. So Voldus is now going to be taking on a hail of extra bullets from the big shooter. So over to the dice camera. This is our Ork Warboss again with rapid fire 2, as it is within that 18 range now. So big shooter, 36 inches usually, 18 inches for rapid fire 2. So the 3 attacks become 5, and this is hitting on 4+. So 2 fell off. Still tough, sometimes tough to get 4s. I know, I'm an Imperial Guard player, as you can see. So it's always been kind of tricky, but we'll see. See if they can get any wounds off Voldus here. So strength 5, toughness 5, wounding on 4. None wounded this time. So 1, 2, 3. There's no double rolls there, no twin link. So it's going back over to Voldus now for his move. All right, so Voldus is still surviving these hail of bullets. And he's moving up closer and closer. You know what? I don't want him to get into range, because that's going to allow the Ork to move in first. So let's move him 3 inches. Why didn't he fire last time? Oh no, this is the thing. If you're not paying attention, you get kind of caught in the battle here. It's like chess. Like, you take your finger off the piece, that's your move. Voldus could have shot the last couple turns with his Stormbolter. And I was just getting too excited there. So let's see now if he's going to be able to strip any wounds off of. Yeah, so sorry about that, guys. If you're Grey Knight players, luckily nothing's happened to him yet. If it had, I'd probably try to reset the table a bit. But yeah, so definitely within range. It is a rapid fire 2 as well. So the Stormbolter usually has 2 attacks. It's actually going to get 4 now. So in behind the dice camera for Voldus's first shoot, which should actually be like his 2nd or 3rd. Sorry about that, Voldus and any Imperium players here. Trying to make this as fair as possible, but I was getting too excited with the whole hand-to-hand combat possibility. So we're going to do his Stormbolter, 2 attacks, rapid fire 2, so this is 4, hitting on 2+. It's not twin linked, which sucks, so 2 fell off. Strength 4 against toughness 6. So even if he had shot those last 2 or 3 turns, we'll see. We'll see. He needs a 5 to wound. Yeah, so we got 1 through. 0 to AP as well. And the Ork Warboss is going to be a 2+ save to save this one. And he saved it. There we go. You know what? Just to make this even, I'm going to go again. This isn't really as per rules, but I'm going to let Voldus fire again here because I did miss a turn. So try to even this up. It's going to be 2 pluses again. So that time all are through. Strength 4 against toughness 6, 5 to wound, and 4 through. So this is making up a little bit for those missed turns. You're not supposed to do this because, as I said, it's like chess. You take your finger off the piece, you've lost that turn. So they have gone through, and this is going to be the Warboss and Mega Armor's 2+ save. There's no AP. And he has lost 2 wounds. So these two have gone through. The Ork Warboss and Mega Armor has gone from 7 wounds to 5. And now I got to apologize to all you Ork players out there. It's fair to let that happen. So we're going to move back over here and see what's going on for the hand-to-hand. All right, so that's the end of the shoot. As you guys saw, I did do 2 shoots for Voldus in a row. Not supposed to do it, but I want to make this as fair as possible. So he could have actually started shooting probably from back here when he was in this position right off the bat to 24 inches as the Ork moved in. So I missed 1 there, missed 2, and then I got 2 in. So I'd say that that's pretty fair. The Warboss is down to 5 wounds. It is, however, the Warboss's turn now. So what I'm going to do is, he really wants to scrap, but he wants to be the first one to get in. So I'm going to move him 3 inches. It's not going to really matter because Voldus is going to have to get in there anyways. Yeah, so it's going to be the Gretchen again firing with the big shooter. We have the Ork Warboss's next shoot here. They're getting closer and closer to each other. This is now rapid fire 2 in addition to the attack 3. So we have 5 dice rolling, hitting on a 4+. And 4 have gone through. Strength 5 against toughness 5, wounding on 4. And 2 have wounded. It is 0 to AP, so it's going to be a 2+ save from Voldus. And he has saved both. So very, very even fight so far. Moving back over here now to Voldus. He may just be in range to get that hammer going. Let's see if this gets into hand-to-hand combat. It does. So here we go. Okay, so the hand-to-hand combat has begun here. Voldus has closed in the gap there, and he has the initiative going in with his hammer. His hammer is called Malleus Argyrum? Malleus Argyrum. And the Ork Warboss has the huge choppa. If Voldus does not injure him here severely and the Ork gets the counterattack, I don't know if Voldus is going to survive, but we will see. Over to the dice tray to find out. All right, so here we are. This is Voldus's hand-to-hand attack. It is 5 attacks hitting on 2+ from his hammer Malleus Argyrum, very hard to say, and it's 2+ to hit. So 2 fell off. It's a strength 10 weapon against toughness 6, so he's going to be wounding on 3s. Another one fell off. So there are 2 wounds going through at AP -2. So the Ork Warboss in Mega Armor usually has a 2+. This brings him to a 4+, which is just under his invulnerable of 5+, so not too bad. So he needs to make 4s here. If he does not, it's 3 damage per lost wound. Ooh, okay, so he saved 1 for sure. This, however, is 3 damage. So our Ork Warboss in Mega Armor is down to 2 wounds. There we go. Okay, so we just saw on the dice tray there, we had Voldus deliver 3 wounds to the Ork Warboss in Mega Armor, bringing him down to 2 from 5 in the past turn. We still have Voldus with his full 6 wounds, but this is going back over to the Ork Warboss for the counterattack, and this could get really messy. Over to the dice tray. All right, so dice tray now for the huge choppa from the Ork Mega Boss, or the Warboss in Mega Armor fighting against Voldus. Voldus just did 3 wounds to him, and now it's the Ork's turn to fight back, and he's wanted to do this for a while. So 2+ to hit. 1 fell off. Man, it's crazy how many ones you get. It is strength 12 versus a toughness of 5, so this is going to be 2s to wound. And this, even against someone like a Baden, might be doing some damage. So we're looking for 2s here to wound. All are through. It is a -2 to AP, which brings Voldus up to his 4+ invulnerable save. And he has saved all 3. So very good by Voldus. He continues to fight. And we'll get over to that in just a sec. So we just saw behind the dice camera there that Voldus was able to deliver some pretty good wounds, and the Ork Warboss in Mega Armor was not able to do anything back as of yet. It is, however, going back to our Ork Warboss, and I am going to put the Wog into play here. So that is going to help out immensely for our Ork Warboss in Mega Armor, and we are going to see what he is capable of doing with that Wog activated. Gonna try not to hit the tripod leg again there. It kind of got messed up when I did that last. Just wanted to cover what the Wog can do for the Ork Warboss in Mega Armor. So with this ability, units from your army with this ability are eligible to declare a charge in a turn which they advanced. Add 1 to the strength and attacks characteristics of melee weapons equipped by models from your army with this ability. And models from your army with this ability have a 5+ invulnerable save. So he already has the invulnerable save, but that add 1 to strength and attacks characteristic is going to be fantastic. So guess what he's doing? Right into hand-to-hand combat with Voldus. 2 wounds left though. Voldus has done a very good job. And if Voldus can survive this one during his fight back, he might take this one. So let's see how it goes. Over to the dice camera to decide all that. All right, so with that Wog activated, we have the huge Trappa usually doing 4 attacks, now doing 5, and they're coming in at a strength of 13 instead of 12. So this is 5 attacks hitting on 2+. 1 fell off, so still very good. So that's the Orc's normal attacks. It is strength 13 versus toughness 5, so this is wounding on 2s. And we have all wounded. It does bring Voldus to his 4+ invulnerable save. Oh, and also with the Wog activated, Dead Brutal is there too. So while the Wog is active for your army, this model's huge Trappa has a damage characteristic of 3. So if any of these are not saved by Voldus, it is 3 damage instead of 2, and that lasts until the end of this hand-to-hand combat phase right now. So it is 4+ for Voldus. We're looking for 4s or more for him to save these. He has saved 2, so a 4 and a 6. However, 2 have gone through. That's 3 damage per because of the Wog. So that means, sadly, Voldus has been killed by the Ork Warboss in Mega Armor. He put up a hell of a fight at the start there. Also missed a couple shoots for him, but he did really well. So I'm just going to do the synopsis here in just a sec. And yep, the Ork has taken this one. And there he is, the Ork Warboss in Mega Armor, who is the victor for fight number 6. He was able to dispense of Voldus, and it's a good thing he did with that Wog activated. If Voldus had survived and done the counterattack, I think the Ork Warboss would have lost with his 2 wounds remaining. So the Warboss is moving on to the second round. He will be taking on Azrael. The 2 final fights for round 1 are going to be Lord Solar Leontis versus Karn the Betrayer. It's going to be a great fight, and that was kind of what I was hoping would happen during my Imperial Guard crusade that we had done, but they just didn't get to fight each other, so that's going to happen. And then last is going to be Torgaradon of the Imperial Fists versus an Abominant. So round 1, that will finish that up. The round 2 fights, just to recap so far, is Typhus versus Marnius Calgar, High Marshal Helbrecht versus Abaddon the Despoiler, and we have Supreme Grandmaster Azrael of the Dark Angels versus our Ork Warboss in Mega Armor. So I'm going to get Leontis and Karn out here soon. We'll get that battle shot and see who's going to be moving on to the second round from that one. Thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned.